Hey guys, it's Paradise and we're back today with another video to go over because this one has been highly requested by you guys in our last video, and it's from a weapon and community member that we highly regard, and the weapon itself we're very excited to try in Wilds. It's the Gun Lance, and this gameplay is from CaoSlayer, who is an insane, amazingly good Gun Lance player. So it's kind of a treat to be able to get to see the new Gun Lance played by CaoSlayer. And 2-6, you are also personally very excited to play Gun Lance in Wilds, right?
Yeah, it's definitely one of those weapons. I don't know about you guys. Definitely one of those weapons that I always had my eye on for it, but it just didn't scratch that itch. But they've made a couple of changes now that it sounded a bit spicy. So I want to go to one of the Gun Lance legends, because obviously you've got Hurricane, you've got CaoSlayer, and you've got a bunch of other people. But CaoSlayer is like one of my dudes when it comes to Gun Lance. So I'm super excited, and the changes to like the block and the guards and stuff, which we should find out about here, that as a longsword player I definitely want to be dodging and guarding and parrying my way through things. So this is going to be exciting watch.
Definitely. And again, we play so many weapons, but the Gun Lance is just looking like chef's kiss in Wild. So
Yeah,
I'm excited to see it, because I actually didn't get much hands-on time with the Gun Lance, in our limited time at Gamescom. So you ready to jump into it?
yeah, no, definitely.
Hello fellow Gunters.
I love
Before
the
starting,
voice.
this clip is basically the too long didn't read of how Gun Lance feels in Wilds. A barrage of explosive attacks. Thanks to Capcom, I got my chance at
Wait,
playing
pause
hold on.
there.
I gotta pause there, because I've actually, apart from like short snippets that you see around, I've not seen the full power clash with the Gun Lance. Did he reload after that? Because he's still got all of his shells. Because that looked like it was like
he
a full
reloaded
burst,
at
right?
the end. So I guess that's what it gives you, because a lot of these like clash attacks have like a follow-up that you can get off as well, right? So that's pretty cool that you're able to essentially do
Before
that.
starting, this
The fact
clip
that it
is
has a power
basically the
clash
too
as well.
long didn't read of how Gun Lance feels in
I
Wilds.
want to see it
A barrage of
one more
explosive
time.
attacks. Thanks to Capcom, I got my chance at
So
playing
Oh,
Gun
he
Lance
manually
at
you know what it
Gamescom.
is? It's
This
the
footage
new,
belongs
is it
to the
the
Quest
new
2
quick reload?
available
Because
for the
it's so
public on the
fast.
show. It is no different in any other manner.
That is so dope.
No,
Yeah.
hold on. No, he's out. Wait, CaoSlayer's out here hitting the perfect
Showing
time
off.
flinches in a freaking demo run when you got like background noise and things going on. Man, this is the pinnacle of Gun Lance right here. That's great. I gotta say, I just gotta acknowledge that, because we've been playing on the show floor where we obviously can't record, and even in the recording sessions, there's a lot of people around. People coming up and talking to you like while you're trying to record and stuff like this. So I gotta just point out how like clutch that is to be getting actual good like combos and flinches like
Tool
that.
of the weapon wasn't really connected. Here is no longer the case, and you can see how you basically can combo front any move. Shell to sweep to a sweeping burst to a fast stake to a new reload to once again burst stake, and finally a wyvern fire. This feels so good.
So basically, he's just
Yeah.
saying that
Headshot.
I think that's what my problem with the Gun Lance. It just felt like a load of different parts thrown together. It didn't have like the flow of the other weapons that I usually play. But definitely now you can see them like boom, boom, boom. It's sick. It's sick.
Yeah, I'm not fully versed with it like the Wilds iteration at the moment, but going like straight from stake into like wyvern fire seamlessly, and the quick reloads in between it, like you say, it's sort of like it looks because the longsword's always been very fluid, I feel like. And now the Gun Lance is in that state as well. And remember, with Gun Lance, you can guard, so you can now perfect guard as well. And it's got new. Maybe we'll see it in this. I'm hoping that he managed to pull some off the new like almost guard points within the reload, and maybe some other moves as well. So it's gonna, like perfect longsword players, you never get hit. You know what I mean? You're just out there EI countering and everything.
Yeah.
Is the new Gun Lance like top tier players just gonna be hitting guard points and perfect guards and never getting hit? So it just looks really cool.
The objective
blew
of this
up.
video is to try to answer all the Gun Lance
Look,
oriented
he's
doubts
just
I have
shelling and
received from places
smoothing.
like Twitter or the Gun Lance subreddit. Of all the questions, the more frequent I got is, do shelling scales with your attack instead of being a fixed value like always? And the answer is surprisingly very, very likely. Yeah. Let me repeat the clip you just saw.
I love we've said it before, but the voice is just so funny to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now. You can see how regular shells do 13 damage and the full burst shells do 15. Also doing a Wyvern Fire to Dosha when the fight starts deals 64 damage excluding the first hit that does double damage when waking up a monster.
So for those who didn't
Further
know,
into
by
the
the way,
fight,
if you
you
pause it for a second, the damage shells are the things that you shoot off in the gun lance, and there's like different ways of doing it. You can do like full charge up to getting like a big burst fire on it. But in previous games, they were basically capped out by like your shelling level, and there was not really that many ways to kind of increase your damage on that. But now, from like Hurricane's interview, and CaoSlayer saying it and kind of showing off the different ways that there is like adaptive or different attributes or numbers for your different shell damage, you can see that there's probably going to be ways to scale it. Hopefully it is just you put on more raw attack and you get more shell damage. And I think when it came to like the speed runs and all of that stuff, I think gun lance wasn't necessarily, maybe I'm talking out my my Doshiguma, but it wasn't up there in terms of like damage. So maybe now it's going to be like a very top tier weapon for like runs and stuff.
Yeah, the scaling on the shelling has always been sort of like a contentious point for like proper gun lance mains, and Rurikan will tell you how he's not happy about it in the past games.
Yeah.
I believe in Wilds as well. The three, I think it's like the three like types are back. So normal, wide, long. They obviously have different interactions or benefits. I think normal is like you have a higher capacity. I think wide is more damage, and long is to do with like worm fire. So that's back as well. But yeah, the scaling will be the interesting thing to see, and hope maybe he will do the charge shots as well, because charge shots are back or in this as well. So
you can see both a regular shell and full burst ticks do 1 extra damage. This is not out of place because Gunlance deals a bit of fire damage and the elemental zones may change the regular damage by a bit. In this build of the game we don't have access to many ways to change our attack values. But there are ways. Enters the hunting horn. In Monster Hunter Wilds, one of the most important changes is that you can carry with yourself 2 weapons at once. And the sax in the demo has a attack up small song. Thanks to this I can use the song twice, the regular one and the encore, and buff my attack. Note that in the superior corner you can see a red sword icon indicating the buff is active.
Yep,
Classic icon.
And now with the buff active,
I just want to say I love that that because people have played the demo now across different sort of time periods. So it was first at Gamescom, and then we're seeing a lot of the US creators get their hands on it over in the US, right? I'm not sure exactly where CaoSlayer is. I think this is Gamescom, but my point is, from different footage that has come out, you're seeing people really test things that were touched upon at Gamescom. So actually pulling out the hunting horn, actually doing the song and switching just to show it in action is pretty cool to see.
we can see how our full burst ticks do 19 damage. That's is 18% stronger, that's 16, and this damage is consistent for all the 4 bursts we do in the clip.
Very good.
Wyvern Fire also is stronger, doing from
yeah.
78 to 80 damage. A 21% stronger. So yeah, I can confidently say that right now Hunting Horn can buff shells. Since this
Hold on, that's massive for Gunlance, right? Because I don't think that was an interaction before. And was attack small always? I don't remember off the top of my head. Was attack small always 20%? Like around 20%?
Maybe it scales differently on those ones, but I don't remember what the actual attack small was. But it'll be interesting to see, and just how powerful the buffs on the Hunting Horn get, considering people will have like, I know Hunting Horn players hate this. Some people will have like a pocket Hunting Horn in their backpack, ready to go for that. So it'll be interesting to see how this all pans out towards the end game of stuff. I don't suspect that Wilds' base game is going to be stupidly hard. I think what's going to happen, I can predict the future. Wilds is going to come out. We're going to dominate the monsters in it. Everyone's going to cry about how easy it is or whatever. And then the end game is just going to be nuts for the actual expansion, as it usually is. And we're going to go through that loop and that cycle again without people expecting what's happened before again. So it's going
It's
to
a
be interesting.
roller coaster journey
Yeah.
every time. Every time.
We've got so many tools now as well. Like every weapon's got like a parry. Every weapon we've got like pocket and hunting horns. We can run around on a secret. We can carry 2 weapons. Capcom and the Monster Hunter team are probably going to go nuts on the actual monster designs and like what they can do. They're going to slap us down.
Yeah, just I like you say, I know the hunting horn players aren't happy about the idea of everyone rocking a pocket hunting horn as it's their like pride and joy weapon. But it does make you wonder as well, because you've got like songs that have like earplugs and wind negation. You have resistance ones. So across a whole party of players, you could get some crazy buffs going. I imagine you will just always have earplugs if someone brings an earplugs hunting horn, and that's not including the attack ones and the defense buffs and all that kind of stuff. So it's going to be very interesting to see how it all pans out in that sense. But yeah. The buff to the shelling here is a really awesome like thing that he's managed to find out and like catalog.
It's a pre-release build. Be wary that stuff can change before the game launches. If in the future there is an online demo, I would be able to confirm, since I will be able to do less makeshift testing. As a second validation, fighting another different Dashu, I got the luck of my Palico deciding I needed more attack. And once again subtly my shells started to do more damage again. It a little less than using the hunting horn, but 8.
Wait. I know it's valuable information, but do you see the damage on that wyvern fire?
Yeah, it was
Holy!
nuts.
I'm gonna
Holy
moly!
People complaining
like,
about the longsword.
That's hundreds of damage.
Moly.
Interestingly, though, you can see the wound damage at 77 is only 1 higher. So, and I was spotting that with the shells as well. The actual shell and wyvern fire damage doesn't seem to be that much more, if not the same, for the shelling and the wyvern fire. So that's really interesting. But yeah, that is a lot. That's like over 300 damage. That's crazy.
Does it not interact with wounds? Because we've seen other weapons. Like we literally did like a longsword breakdown where we're going through like the wounds and stuff, and it was a dramatic nearly double damage like increase. Here he's hitting the wounds by, it only seems to go up by like 1 point, which is kind of nuts. Maybe that's a bug.
Yeah, it definitely doesn't seem right.
Inconsistent, yeah.
And if that isn't right, imagine how much more damage it can deal on a wyvern. Maybe wyvern fire.
A little less
like,
than using the
thing
hunting
to
horn,
spam.
but 18 is still more than what you can get fighting Dosha. The third piece of evidence is that the available gunlets no longer have shell levels but has a power stat described as normal. How do you guys feels about that?
Wait, so there isn't...
No,
see, there is not shelling levels at all?
Yeah, so they yeeted them out. But it is described as like normal.
Yeah. So what is that not just the shelling type as like normal shells, or is that?
He's saying shelling level. So I didn't look through the menu on the gunlots to know if there's a difference between like the shelling level and it said like normal or whatever. But it'll be interesting to see if there's different types in the shelling level and you can get like more damage off, or get it to scale with different things. Like maybe that's what the way that they've gone about this. Like you can scale your damage like elementally, or you can scale it with just like shelling damage or whatever, based on the same kind of rules as the base like gunlance types. Basically, that'll be interesting.
Yeah,
Can get
very
fighting
interesting.
Dosha. The third piece of evidence is that the available gunlets no longer have shell levels but has a power stat described as normal. How do you guys feel about this?
Yeah.
Moving on, I have some questions about shelling and charged shells. The first one is, how bad is sharpness for gunlets? Well, I have good news. If you look at the moment, I see 4 shells with charged shells and zoom it. I can see there is no sharpness spent at all. This means that either
that was like one
no
of the
longer
biggest
spends
things.
sharpness or is a very much insignificant amount. Awesome.
That's.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, is that? I mean, the UI didn't move. I'm thinking like, is it like? It looked like it didn't go down. That's a great find. And I did say just a minute ago, I wonder if he did charge cells. CaoSlayer's done everything. Let me just go back. Also, it's happened a lot in a few clips, but some of these poor monsters getting focus striked and shelled in
If you look
unfortunate
at the moment, I
places.
see 4 shells with charged shells and zoom it. I can see there is no sharpness spent at all. This means that either shelling no longer spends sharpness or is a very much insignificant amount. Awesome. Another doubt I got is if you can partially fire some shells and not all of them, and the answer is yes. Finally, and to give some bad news for once, I have to say I doubt very much you are guarding with charged shells. I tried several times to guard
Ah.
stuff against Dashu and all of them failed. Maybe there is
Come
a
on, you
guard
don't need
point at
that
the
though,
start,
do
but
you?
100%
That it does look like you're guarding while charging, though. I think that's what it is. Like you say, it would be absolutely nuts if you could do that, because then you just can't be punished for trying to charge them. But I think it's the visuals that are confusing there. It looks literally like you're guarding, but maybe you're not.
Yeah, but now that you've got your parry guard and your perfect guard, I don't think you're gonna necessarily need that anyway, unless you are committing to some massive charge shell behind a monster's attack, and then even then I think you deserve to get you're gonna do that without an opening essentially.
sure you can't defend just holding your shell button. The only positive thing is that I confirm you can evade out from shelling. Then I have got a question about how far can Wyvern Fire hit. I did a lot of Wyvern Fires and it is a bit inconsistent.
Oh yeah, I
At the
forgot it
distance
launches
here
it
whips
forward,
totally,
right?
so it is not very...
Yeah, because we spotted that in the weapon trailer. It looked like it was going further than normal. So this was another interesting thing. Also, pay attention to the ground, because it is setting it on fire, which maybe gives you an idea of the actual distance it's going.
very long. I guess I will need a
Like that was decent. That was pretty
What?
decent range, right?
training dummy
Yeah,
to truly
this weapon's so
confirm.
stylish now.
On the topic of Wyvern Fire, I want to talk how do you recharge it. Winning a class will give you a big chunk. I always got one Wyvern Fire ready after it. That is great for the following up punish. Then the second best way to recharge it is with charged shells. With 2 charged shells, salvos is enough for 1 stock.
Okay.
This is seriously the most useful thing about charged shells in the demo. I also confirm melee attack.
Let's just touch on that. So 2 charged shells is enough to fully get a Wyvern Fire charge, and you can now have 2 Wyvern Fire charges, right?
Yeah. So you can just stock them up during those windows when the monster's down, just like charging up. Because it takes long, but it doesn't take that long. Especially if there's like skills that increase like the charge time and all of that stuff. It'll be pretty cool.
Yeah, no, that's very
Charge
cool.
Wyvern Fire. Here the slam gains enough to finish filling one of the slots. Still, bursts and charged shells are the best.
So this is the interesting thing right. So you basically have the worm stake full blast, which is the like side sweep. Then you have the follow up, which is the full worm stake blast. But you don't have to go into that, because like we've seen here, instead he's gone into worm fire after the full blast. So depending on how much like opening you have, you could go for the double blast with the worm stake, or you could go for the worm fire if you have the charge for it. Which I think the worm fire looks like it even does more damage than the second the multi blast. So I don't know, like you've got so many options now of what to chain into based on how much time you have.
Yeah.
That's the thing that some weapons were kind of lacking before. Like you would have combos and things you could go into, but you wouldn't. Not all weapons necessarily have points where you could commit to a bigger move or a lesser move in the same combo string, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And
Another
definitely for like the
quietus-
different like types of gun lances, some of the times you just ended up spamming off the same move like back to back because of the type of gun lance that you're using. Like you're just like, oh yeah, full burst, or shell. This one, it kind of obviously you'll still have that case depending on how like the types work, but you've got way more options here in terms of the moves that you can actually pull off with like the multi burst and all that stuff. And just like the guarding and stuff is cool. Really
thing
cool.
about Wyvern Fire is the alternative faster version. The 2 ways I have found to do the fast version are after a worm stake and after another Wyvern Fire. I'm 100% sure the regular Wyvern Fire has no immunity for most its duration, but I never have been interrupt from the crouching fast version.
So he just did there the multi one, which is the follow-up
Yeah.
one, which is it's just nuts that you can chain them together. I just like, again, like the combos are looking so satisfying, because with other weapons that have these big combos, that when you get them off, it's always that payoff that's so good. So now Gunlance has these like multi-step full burst, which is just nuts.
Next, behold the new mount finisher. Drill on.
Oh, I haven't even seen this.
Drill on.
The drill that pierces
yeah.
the heaven.
And then the pop of the
Okay,
okay,
just for a secret. You can use in slow and bad upswing while ridding. Then for dismounting, you can go into any of the aerial attacks. These including the
The dismount attack. You can drop all the wide sweep into the. Oh, okay. I don't think many other weapons actually can do that much damage on a dismount attack, because it's usually just the one or the maybe 2 hits on the down, like as you're falling. So that's nuts.
air slam that, like in Monster Hunter World, recharges all your shells. Also, after landing you can full burst and or use a sweep. Remember then in Monster Hunter Rise the air slam didn't reload any ammo. Talking about reloading, it is gone the misfire animation if you try to shell without any ammo. Instead you will perform a quick reload. A nice thing of this is that allows you to quick reload outside of combos. The gun.
Yeah, so just to expand on that, so from seeing it here, and obviously different chats with Rukan, and just seeing like the discussion about the gun lance online, it looks like you're not really going to ever really need to just do a reload, because you can mix in the new like the quick reload into your combos, and it's super quick as well. Like it's way faster than a normal reload. So another thing of making the gun lance like really fluid and smooth. I'm not sure exactly. Like I need to get my hands on it to see exactly how much it can be weaved into different things, but it looks like you just weave it into your combos.
Yeah.
You still want to reload for the other shells. This is some of the testing I did with it. Basically, you can use it as long the monster has at least one open wound. The move is safe in that you can always guard from it. Also, you don't have to do the full charge. At any moment you can press the button again, R2 in my configuration, and place it in the moment. Placing it early will make the drill to keep drilling. This is why it was different in the Focus Strikes video and in the Gunlance trailer 1. I have barely...
Bro, like you say, he's hitting every perfect target. Like, and the Focus Strike looks really cool too. Like, they've definitely paid attention to Gunlance in Wilds, which is so nice. Because again, it was a very heavily discussed topic with like the shelling issue and the limited number of like Gunlances that you could realistically use without just like sacrificing pretty much all of your damage.
Talked about the new move Wormstake Full Blast. The move is done by pressing the shell and melee buttons at once after any of the sweep attacks. You can perform it even if you have not shells, stake, or neither of both. After the stake you can press again the shell or melee and will then do the special quick reload and do it again. This second part is called Multi-Wormstake Full Blast. I'm not sure if there is either guard points or super armor using it, but sure has been moments where I swear I should have been hit but got no reaction. But if they hit you while you are doing some of the moves, you indeed will feel it. About Gunlance mobility, there are some pros and cons. The biggest con is,
if you pause it right here, one of the things that people are super upset is that the rocket dash is like gone.
Yeah,
but it's like it's a tough game though, isn't it?
The problem is, I think if they yes, rip the dash, it was super stylish and everyone loved it, and it wasn't even really like it broke anything because it didn't do individually that much damage. It was more for style points and mobility. But I think if you had Gunlance players rocket dashing around, it would feel a little out of place, considering they obviously are going more grounded with Wild. So I can see why they didn't add it. At the same time, I wouldn't have minded if it was in. I wouldn't have minded. You've got like you've got freaking Jewel Blades, Levi, spine dashes, and all that kind of stuff. So who knows?
It is
but
what
they've treated exactly, and they've treated Gunlance well with a lot of these moves anyway. But yeah, that move is obviously become quite the fan favorite, right?
Yeah.
No blast dash. We are back to the little steps. Or maybe not. One of the biggest new tools of the Gunlance are that you can hold any direction and shell. You move in that direction, and this is a great tool for positioning or evading damage. After a shell you can also attack in any direction and will perform a new moving sweep. You can follow up this sweep with either a fast stake or the Wormstake Full Blast move. Because this move, you can't no longer do shell stake, but shell sweep stake is much faster and safer.
So yeah, that was the full multi-Wormstake blast, but he's talking about the directional positioning and stuff, which is obviously a big improvement. But also remember, every weapon has the focus mode, which will directionally turn you. So it's obviously good that you can have that stuff built in, but focus mode is also acting as a way to more easily direct like where your attacks are going to. So I think just across the board, all weapons got better like directional positioning.
Yeah, Capcom was just like, "Oh, you stop missing your hits. We're gonna give you every tool in the box to stop missing your hits, please."
Yeah.
I confirm I haven't been able to use any kind of slow stake in Wilds. The final point I'm going to talk today is about Perfect Guard. Perfect Guard is basically an alias for a parry. It totally works like parries in games like Sekiro, where if an enemy...
Let me just point out as well, because this is another thing. you see how quickly he cancelled that animation into a guard?
Yeah.
This is something that I think I see people talking about the gun lance and they aren't. I don't think it's known as like, is it meant to be this quick and good to cancel out of things into a guard, or is this maybe perhaps a bug that maybe won't make it into the full game? Because it looks like from full reloads to, like we saw there, overheads smashes, you can very just quickly, almost anytime you want, just go into a guard, which enables you to do these crazy perfect guards like on the drop of a dime. So I don't know if that's going to make it, but
Yeah.
it's in the demo, and a lot of the time these demos, it makes it through. So we'll have to find out when it
It's gonna be
releases.
interesting.
Impact just when you have hit the guard button, you will do the parry. When you trigger the perfect guard you can shell, slam or do a wyvern fire. I failed to try to do wyvern fire and find out if it's the fast or regular version. The very best change about the guard in Wilds is that is not like in World and Rise in that you had to recover from your attack to guard, but now you can combo into guard. This is wild because makes gunlance infinitely more safe to use, and the follows up also allows for better offense. If you perfect guard some attacks, you also will go into the class we talked before. The most fun thing is that you can even guard into guard and get a perfect parry. I mean, if you are holding the guard.
Oh,
What does that even
yes,
mean?
No, I think that means so you're holding guard, but you
Yeah.
can obviously release and tap to hit the perfect guard to then go into the follow-ups.
Okay.
And unless you really fluff it, I guess that's a bit safer. That's my interpretation. That's what it sounds like to me. And I think if it must be the quick wyvern fire after a perfect guard, because I feel like a lot of the other weapons that can perfect guard, it almost goes into a reward. So if you think of charge blade, I think your triangle after a perfect guard does like a savage axe attack and gives you the power axe mode. So I would expect it to be the fast version, but obviously if it's not recorded, we can't know.
Guard but see an attack incoming, you can tap the guard and be able to parry it. And guys, all this is all I can talk for today. I will follow up this video with a more high level one and more longer sequences. Thanks you are for watching. See you hunting in the wilds.
It's like the deadpan delivery.
Yeah, exactly.
It just gets me. We will also link. We'll link CaoSlayer down below, because that was, first of all, just great capture. Second of all, a great breakdown of what he had learned while going through. And yeah, gunlances just look like. I think we just got to get our hands on gunlance now, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. There's definitely a few weapons I want to get my hands on to really test out and see what they're doing. Sword and shield is definitely one of those ones that didn't get enough love during the demo. Dual blades is another one. Insect glaive is like top of the list for stuff that we want to find out more about and like test more of. And then there's a ton of other things.
Yeah. Well, guys, let us know below what you would like to see us go over next, because there is still a lot of cool stuff out there and a ton of stuff to learn, even though it's crazy how much stuff there is. Like, we've already done so many videos going over all different things, but there's still more and some exciting things. So yeah, share what you want us to take a look at below. We hope you enjoyed watching, and any last thoughts, 26?
That's it. That was an exciting video to watch. I can't wait. It seems like the most improved weapon so far in Monster Hunter, so yeah, exciting stuff.
Oh no, the switch axe is still with its the offset tag and the counter. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Make sure you subscribe below for more Monster Hunter and videos on your favorite games coming very, very soon.
Bye.